welcome to the podcast. I'm really happy that you're here.
I'm so happy to be here.
I feel like I moved back into this house after it got renovated, and there was like this feeling that I had that just told me to start another podcast. I don't know what it was. I was trying to figure out my next steps. I had tried to explore a few different options and go down this road, go down that road. I was really looking for myself, and I was just like, no, this isn't it. I need to stop and explore just the podcast thing. This is what you were good at. You like it. And it came to me, and I was in this room and I was walking around, and I'll never forget it. I was like, I know I'm going to have a podcast, and I know I'm going to have these types of guests. And I didn't know the concept, and I can't, but I was like, in my head, there was like 4 or 5 people, and immediately it was like all the things that had inspired me, like through my transitional time and why I wanted to come up with a podcast and it was like, no doubt. And then I told Dahlia, I'm like, we're getting Jaybird, we're getting her, and I didn't know if it was you and your partner, but whoever, I'm like, I just need to know more about this business and the industry and everything they've done, because I just like, this is like a practice, I will say that is like the thing that changed me, but I didn't even know I needed.
Oh, exactly.
I had no idea what this whole thing was. And yes, it's a workout class, but to me at the time when it was like integrated into my life and where I was, it was like one of the most like healing practices and rituals that I've now like taken with me and through, and I crave and I look forward to. And I've been someone that's like a highly active person. I would call myself like a generalist.
I love that. Yeah.
Like I am someone that has always been average at everything. Like I was competitive dancer, but in the C group. Like I was like, I played female water polo.
Oh my God, I love that. That's
like,
hilarious.
I wasn't I like was the worst position. Like I always had a great attitude. I was always quite athletic. I'd be on volleyball. They'd bring me in just to serve and then I'm out. Like I just wasn't always it. But I felt like I because of that, I got to do a lot of different things. Like I got to experience a lot of different like activities. But until I kind of found this, I had never fell in love with a workout. Like actually in love. Like it was, whether it was spin or berries, and I had big bandwidth for a lot of these workouts, but I didn't know how much the workout could like just transform like just my overall mood, my health, my outlook, my mental wellness, like in general. And I know that sounds so airy-fairy, and we can get into all of it, but it was just like, anyways.
No, the interesting thing is like we actually trick you into that. So that's exactly what it's meant to do, because Jaybird lives at we say like the intersection between mindfulness and movement. And so there's a lot that is like, you think you're going to a workout class, and then we begin by saying like, okay, now you actually lie down, you connect to yourself, to your breath. We actually regulate your nervous system at the beginning and the end. So you leave feeling a deeper like level of yourself. And it's very intentional. And it can be very uncomfortable for a lot of people at the beginning. And it is a trick because we're known as this like Pilates or studio. And then we're like, just kidding, lie down.
Yeah, like we're about to voodoo some shit up in here.
Let's have a dance party in the dark. So and everyone's like, what in God's name are these crazy people doing?
There's so many funny stories that we have to, but they're like, okay, so just so everyone understands, the Jaybird workout, and you can kind of go into the technical stuff, but the idea, and I've never been to the Vancouver studio, but in Toronto, there's 2 locations, just so people get this visual. You walk into this area, you come off like a busy street, and you walk into this area that smells magnificent, like the hotel collections, like in my house, and also is like completely dark but moody and vibey, and your nervous system also feels relaxed. And then everyone's like, hi, can I help you? What do you want? How are you? I'm like, hi, they're like, oh, hi, okay, like your locker's over there. I'm like, well, I got locked out of my locker again, and they're like,
I'm dead.
That's totally okay.
It's all good. We got you.
I'm like on the toilet, and she's like, that's okay. And everyone's just like, so I'm like, what do you give your employees before you hire them? But anyways, they're all so zenned out, and it's just like this energy. And then you walk into this room, guys, there's no lights, it's completely dark, there's no mirrors, you're not looking at yourself while you're working out, and there's different types of classes, all Pilates, yoga, kind of inspired,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
But it's movement based, and you're not really the environment isn't about what's around you, it's about
what's inside
of you, and really feeling the movements. And but saying it is another thing than experiencing it. It almost sounds like it's going to be this like kind of like soft, joyful,
Yeah.
like
Well, you're saying
flowy.
zen, and then you get in there and you're getting your
So
butt
like
kicked,
it starts
yeah.
off by zen. And
Yeah,
when
it
you talk
does.
about being uncomfortable and the whole way you tricked everyone, it's just so funny because I remember a girlfriend brought me at the time and I was really going through a lot. I like
Mhm.
split and I didn't know who I was. I was
Yeah.
really just lost, but I didn't know that was going on. Like when you're
No,
breaking
of
down, you don't
course.
like know, you don't always aware of it. Like I knew the turmoil was happening. There were so many changes, but I didn't know what to do necessarily other
Yeah.
than do therapy and those
Yeah.
things. I didn't know how to release the energy in my
100%.
body.
Yeah.
I didn't know where to put that
And you're
stagnant
holding together for
feelings.
your family, for your kids, you're holding it together for the
Everyone.
world, and and that's a lot of the time, like, emotions are meant to be felt, but we don't
Yes.
feel. So Jaybird is all about feeling, and so you don't need to know what you're feeling. It's not about, and then there's also this whole thing about, like, well, you need to figure it out. You don't need to figure it out. You
Yes.
just need to feel. And feeling could be joy, because sometimes you haven't truly felt joy. You haven't felt the sadness. You haven't felt, sometimes it's actually, like, sensation. Like, you can feel that burn, and, like, sometimes you don't know why. You're like, why am I
Yeah.
angry? And sometimes you're angry at the teacher, but it has nothing to do with the teacher.
Oh, yeah.
And so it is this place to, like, how does it feel to meet myself as I am today in
Mhm.
this body? Because this body changes day to day. This heart changes day to day. And how can I meet myself here and not need to change this? Because so much of what the wellness world is about, like, how can we change?
Yeah.
And Jaybird is saying, how can we meet ourselves right here? And perhaps evolution happens, but really it's more about being here, being with you.
Mhm.
Because if you can't truly be, like, we think that we want to change, but until you can accept where you're at, change can't happen.
Yes.
And so
You
it's
need the
like, you
awareness
need the
and you need the
awareness.
pause.
Yeah, you need the pause, exactly.
And the beautiful thing about the class is you force the
You
pause.
force the pause. And there's no phones, there's no
There's
lights.
no distractions.
Yeah.
Like, I was so uncomfortable.
Of course.
We lied down, me and my girlfriend, and she's like, "No phones." I think it was Chloe, who was, like, such an intense
Yeah.
first class too. Oh, Chloe. Me and her, like, I'm just like, I
She's
read you my
yeah.
ADHD sister. She's doing
Yeah.
25 things at once. I'm like, yes, yes.
Yes,
I love her
100%.
class
Yeah.
and her music. But okay, so it was like and I'm like laughing, and she's like, if anybody has a phone, and like I didn't, but I was just like, this intense to my
Yeah.
friend. And I'm like looking around and I'm
Yeah.
like, why are they doing this? And so they're like, lie down. I'm like giggling with her. And then like I literally think we were quiet for a minute. And I think I probably started crying.
Yeah.
I'm like, can anybody see that I'm crying? And then I'm like, okay, what she's saying is really nice and warm, and I feel weird. And now I'm moving really fast. And then that was it. It went from like this absolute pause to this like, I mean, there were breaks, but I was so engaged in the
Mhm.
workout that
Yeah.
I didn't, not that I have time to think, but you're forced to be present again. Like
Exactly.
it's so challenging, and I
Mhm.
need a good challenge to the workout
Yeah.
in such a gentle way for my body. Like I just want to know kind of, let's just start with like how you guys came up with it and
Mhm.
why you thought there was like obviously such a need in the market for this.
Yeah. So I've been interested in mindfulness for a very long time. My mom taught me to meditate when I was 6 years old. So meditation has and mindfulness has been like a huge part of my life. I veered away and came back. And then Barbie and I, my co-founder, she's really interested in mindfulness as well too. And it's gotten more and more interested kind of. I think it is something that like we're seeing younger people discover it, which is actually amazing through things like Jaybird actually, and through
Mhm.
like more people going to therapy. And I think also COVID was a huge thing for people to realize that, like, you can't busy away like, what is
Yep.
emptiness inside yourself. You can't busy away, like, what is happening inside. You can't distract yourself. So a lot of people had to sit in what was, I said, like, what is here? And so they needed to find tools because before they're just like, oh, I don't need to deal with that. We suddenly realized, like, we actually have to deal with this if we truly want to actualize ourselves to be, and I hate saying like the best version, but be the real version of ourselves.
Totally.
So I think that we like looked at this industry being like, really for me, the body, and I say this all the time, and it's like the concept behind Jaybird
Mhm.
is like personal growth through movement. And what that happens is because like when you say, I felt present. So what we forget is like the mind is what lives in the future and the past.
Mhm.
The physical body can only exist right here. Your leg can't exist tomorrow.
Right.
Your mind can exist tomorrow, right?
Mhm.
So
So
when you
interesting.
come back to the body, when you come back to the breath, when you come to your senses,
Yes.
you become present.
Yes.
So the room itself is forcing you to become more present. You have to actively listen because it's dark. You can't just stare at the person and kind of
Right.
stick an arm in the air you actually need to truly listen to what they're saying to be present
Right.
so
So
that you catch.
for people that don't also know, because if they haven't done one of these classes and they're
Yeah.
interested, so it's all in darkness. So what
Yeah,
that means, you
just
can't,
handle it.
you don't see
Yeah.
yourself and you don't see the instructor
You
unless
don't.
you're in the first row and you can kind of read her body movements. But other than that, it's all audible.
It's all audible.
Which was a whole other thing.
And it takes a bit. Like, there is a learning curve. And like for some people, like you have to give it a couple tries because there's people that are like, oh, well, like I don't know if I'm doing it correctly. But for us, it's like, yes, there is a lot of cues that we use. We use hands-on adjustments. But the difference that we've really found is that one of the main things we wanted to do is within the fitness and even within the wellness world, there's a lot of competition. Like, people walk in and they are automatically like, okay, I'm not as skinny as that person. A leg isn't as high as that person. I shouldn't be here. I haven't like worked out in a while. Maybe like new mums that like came back and aren't in the same
media
place.
just feels like judgment.
Men coming in being like, oh, well, like I shouldn't be here. There's women in the room, all these different things. There's also the place, which is on the other side, where people who are actually like really physically fit and they don't feel good about themselves, they'll actually go in with this, like, look what I can do. And I'm going to get my leg higher so I feel better about myself. I'm going to look in the mirror and make sure so there's so many ways that we are either finding value or we are feeling like devalued within the space. And a lot of that has to do with the mirror and has to do with comparison, judgment. So when you can take that away, it really allows people to, as I said before, meet themselves where they're at. Right. And when it's dark, you really notice, like, so many people came to me and said, like, how can you keep somebody safe in a dark room? But the answer is, you don't try to be anyone else but you. So you actually feel what's happening. Right. You're not trying to go into the splits because you can't see the person doing the splits over. So you're just like, I'm happy here. I'm feeling a stretch. And we use like sensation-based cueing, saying we want you to feel this. Obviously, our teachers are still watching, like with incorrect alignment and trying to like help. But it's a lot more about how it, like, finding feeling rather than perfection, because there is no perfection.
No, for sure. And like Betty with the hip problem, Gary with the leg thing, and you with the yoga body, like everyone can be working out at their own pace. But you're totally right. When there's visual cues as to what others and yourself are doing, we're completely distracted. And naturally, just you're stimulated by the things and the movement and the things around. Like,
and it's not that one is right or wrong. And I think that so many people come and like, it's especially also in wellness, it's like, it's now about protein and lifting and this is bad.
No,
it's like,
you're
okay,
just
there
playing.
is, the difference is like, it's different.
It's different.
It's different. So it's going to work really well for someone, and somebody else maybe might want the mirror and the bright lights and like, and that's fine
okay.
too.
You don't want to work out in the heat or this level, then that's okay. Some people love that, and I think that's the non-judgment attitude that like this podcast, listen or don't.
Exactly.
Like, it's got to be up your alley. If this is up your alley, cool, then we can talk. I think it's very important to be open and try. You know what I mean? But not everything's going to stick. And like, that's how we operate. So why would we expect, with a business or any other lens, that it would be different? So
and then there is the place where you're like, do you not like it because it makes you uncomfortable?
Sure.
And sometimes like with those dance, like, so if for people that don't come to Jaybird, we have a moment that we dance in every single class except for the balance. And this actually is science-based. Like, I was a professional dancer.
You were?
Yeah. So I was a professional dancer until I was 30. And so dancing is like my
what type of dance?
Mostly commercial dance. So, we
amazing.
had like a dance class and then like movies and like just like teaching and all. Dance on cruise ships was my first job. Didn't go to university.
God, so fun.
Yeah. So there is no, I mean, I guess this is before phones. It was before like everything. So you're really like not before phones, before like smart.
No, I get what you're saying. And before any of that shit, it was like, just like you were living.
Yeah. And you were literally going with your cell phone, like your card, not a cell phone, and being like trying to dial up and talk to people. So you're really far away from the world. But yeah, I think like dancing has always been a huge part of my life. Yeah. And I think that they have shown that one of the best things you can do for like depression, anxiety is to dance. So, and we are so worried to look cool. And so just to like shake it out, like somatic, even just like shaking your body can release stress, can release anxiety. So, can get that rhythm back into you. So, and yeah, it's okay. We're like, okay to look silly.
I know.
And so a lot of people will start that. And then you see them, they're just doing like mountain climbers. And I'm like, try something
Literally
different.
Me, the evolution of me and Jaybird and like everyone. Okay, so like this
and
class.
That's great.
No, but it's just so funny. It's like you can like, it should be a meme. So you have like I'm not trying to stereotype, but this is kind of it, okay?
Yeah.
There's like the young girls that are like dancing, but like the step touches that are like, they're still like, they're probably the hottest ones realistically in the class, but they're the ones that are like so insecure still because they're younger and like not like knowing themselves. Then there's the gay boys that are having the fucking time, obviously, the time.
Yeah.
Then there's the boyfriends that are like, she fucking dragged me here. I'm kind of liking this, but I'm not fucking doing this. So I'm going to just punch and do the step touches and push-ups or whatever and like just stare. Then there's the guys that I'm like, good for you. You're coming here to pick up. And I'm like, I'm like, who wouldn't be here?
It's the best place.
Even though you can't really see anything, everyone's like kind of in this like sensual, like everyone's sweating. I'm like, this is hot.
Also, just leave the room and it's hot girls.
Literally, I'm like, why aren't more guys here? This is actually stupid.
It's a very
but so then there'll be the odd though one.
There will be
and
the
then
ones
all
that
the
know.
all the girls are
Oh,
like,
yeah.
So good.
Watch like there's an influx of guys. Like I heard on this podcast, this is the place to pick up.
Oh my God, so good. It actually is. It's hilarious. And then there's the women. I would put them in the 40+ category. That when the dance music come on, they're just fucking going. They don't give a shit. And like it was like the evolution of me. I was like literally doing like Chloe does the climbers at the end. I'm like, okay, I'm always doing the climbers. I'm so intense, like not straight from this, like push-ups.
I'm not. It's also like this. I'm not getting anything out of this. Like,
like I need to be more.
I should get more abs. You're like, okay, like what is like,
and then. Literally, I don't know. I think one day I just stopped giving a shit.
Yeah.
And then I was like literally doing body rolls and like licking myself.
Girl.
I'm like, anyone looking good? Like I just didn't care. And I was like, oh, this feels a lot better. Like and then people are looking at you. Like you can tell. You can still see people. You can still kind of see people. I'm like, I couldn't spot a friend across the room, but you can kind of see the body. So you still have to be comfortable. But it's just like, for me to move like that in a judgment-free space,
totally.
Like I don't do that other than in my shower, and some people don't even feel comfortable to do that alone, naked, in their shower. And so I'm like, I know for me how freeing it is, and I'm like, I love to see when other people can match that energy in that class. I love it because I know
and we don't go like. I mean, maybe I know this generation, like the younger generation's a little different, but like I'm not gonna lie, like I was out at the club, like. Every weekend, like on the speakers, like we would just dance. Like we were all dancers, and we would go out and we would just dance all night long. So fun. And we don't do that so I was like, I'm missing this part to like dance, and dancing is so freeing, and it does it can just change your energy. Like if you go for it, and you're the only one holding yourself back, because I promise you, if you really have a good dance party, even if you don't 100% love the song, even if you just shake,
and
you
move
will
it around.
feel better after. So it's like, again, like you're the one holding yourself back, and it all comes down to like the thoughts we have in our head. Like it's like, we will be like, I'm not cool, or this is stupid, or blah, blah, blah. And really at the end of the day, like
nobody's even looking at you.
It's like, and it's so funny because your evolution is multiple people, like so many people. And it's so funny because like, those are the people now that are like, oh, the dance party is my favorite part.
I look forward to it.
It's my favorite part. And honestly, the people that come in kind of like, sometimes like you, like, why are their rules so strict at the beginning? Like, why are we strict? Like no talking in the studio. No cell phones in the studio. Like we really try to have people stay for the entirety of the experience. Like, these can be customer service points that can be sticky for people. They don't always like to be told, like I'm an adult, I should be able to do what I want.
I have kids. What if someone needs me? I can only imagine like customer service.
And I totally I respect all of it. And our thing is like, this is what we ask so that we can create, like I like to think of it like a womb, because exactly what you said, you're leaving the outside world behind. You've carved out 55 minutes for yourself. Give it to you. You deserve it. You deserve it with no distractions.
Right. And one person on their cell phone, and that would be like completely, would totally take you out of that. Like
even the smartwatches, that's why we're still like, turn your smartwatches off or take it off, because if you have someone next to you with like a bright light in your face, you're distracted. So it's also like, let's have respect for each other too.
Agreed.
And you don't I get it. You might really want something, but we all need to see what it's going to be like. And it does set a space that you respect.
And look forward to, and it gives you respect yourself in the space. You respect the space. It's like I said, it's become like a ritual. Like it's a workout, but it's like this. It's more. I'm like, somewhat spiritual, I would say, and I need to incorporate more of these mindfulness moments into the day. But it's forced upon me and I'm getting a good workout.
And you're getting a good workout.
So, like, that's the double whammy too.
Yeah.
Like, people, it's like you're getting the pause that you need, but you're also getting the exertion of the energy to make you feel that good.
Well, that's part of it, like, even for nervous system, like, you start by trying like, calming yourself, arriving, and then you, like, slowly build up. The dance party can either be in the middle, and then, like, you slowly wind down, or it can be at the end, and then you wind down a little quicker. But it is like you're sending your nervous system, like, really it's like you're going for it. So you're in that exertion. You're
Yeah.
kind of in that, like, stress. There is
Yeah.
stress. Your
It's
heart
like a
is beating
shock
fast.
almost in a good
And
way.
so for some of us, it's really hard for people to rest.
Yeah.
The culture says we, like, grind it out. Like,
Oh.
it's like we don't believe we deserve rest. I can speak for myself. Like, I still struggle, like, to believe I deserve to rest, to believe I deserve a day off, like, if I see my, like, people working and I'm not, I feel guilty. Like, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just so crazy. But sometimes we need that push so that we can rest. And it's
Mhm.
almost like we're like,
Forced to.
and then, like, what I noticed, and this is not a negative against any other style of class, but I was really noticing that, like, my body was under so much stress. So I pushed my body very, very hard for a very long time.
Mhm.
And my nervous system, like, wasn't regulated. I was always, always in sympathetic, like, always in, like,
Yeah.
that, like, upregulated state. And
Okay.
so I was doing workouts that continued to upregulate me. And then I would find these, like, huge crashes, but not in a good crash because I wasn't being able to crash and land. I was actually just crashing. And then I would reach for sugar. I'd reach for coffee. Or I'd feel like I just needed to work out again to try to, like,
Get rid of it or
get rid of
something.
it.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then you're not even really seeing results because your body's just releasing cortisol and you're just kind of in this, like, thing. So it's like because in rest is where we heal. It's actually where we grow. So if you just continue to push, you're not actually allowing this time for the body
Right.
or for yourself
To even, like, benefit from the
benefit
yeah.
from it. Yeah.
That's what people, I think, really miss because the rest feels like bullshit. The rest
Yeah.
feels like you're doing
Nothing.
nothing, and nothing is not true. Like, that nothing is something. But what it all comes down to, like, meditating, which is why I think this is so hard. If you don't see those tangible results, like,
Yes.
taking a break and relaxing and that pause. So, like, someone pointed this out with meditation that made it clear to me what the point was. Because I was like, I'm so fucking bad at meditating. Isn't the idea to not be distracted? Like, you lie there, and if it's not guided, naturally your brain's gonna go do 1,000 different things. And so I was like, I'm not good at meditating. Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be thinking about, but I'm supposed to be present. I'm not supposed to be doing those other thoughts. So what's the point? Like, I can't figure it out. And then on some podcast I was listening to, the point is that every time you notice that you're being distracted is a point that you're becoming present.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that distraction is actually you being present.
Yeah.
And then so the distractions are good.
Yeah.
And they're like, the less of them you'll eventually have as you can learn. But you acknowledging that you're being distracted is you being present. And the next step is then coming back to that.
Yeah.
And so then I was like, oh, so it just made it feel less judgmental. Like,
Yeah.
because I think a lot of us
we
are
think we try to
perfectionists.
do
Yeah.
meditation. It's like
But
you
that's what
actually
I'm
can't do
But
meditation.
that
It's
you
gonna, like,
can't tell someone
it's
in
like,
this
no.
day and age that
No.
you can't, like, everything comes with a manual. Every AI has an answer for everything.
Yeah.
And I think with this and meditation, this pause
That's a
is
great way. That's a great way to think about it. Like, and that is tangible. You're like, oh, this is good.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm noticing. I want to notice more.
No, like, think about life on Instagram.
Yeah.
You have a pimple, you put this on, it goes away. If
Yeah.
you have a problem, if you're big, you take Ozempic. Like, there is
Yeah.
now a solution to everything. And when the solution isn't right in front of you, like, it was like crazy. Like, I was vaping so much back in the day and, like, doing all these, like, crazy health things, like Jaybird all the time and, like, taking such good care of my body, but, like, constantly vaping. And I'm like, I'm a walking oxymoron. And I don't judge and I don't care. But, like, to be able to quit vaping,
Good for you. Yeah.
like, I can now, like have what? Like, and not be a fucking thing. But, like, it was
Not
so
gonna lie, a cigarette in Europe.
I mean,
And the
girl,
skinny long ones.
no,
Oh,
like, you got it.
I'm not mad at anyone.
Yeah,
And
I'm
also, like, enjoy your life. So, but look at these like,
But
that's a good way of being.
the
like, and-
mentality for me with what I had to convince myself to quit
Yeah.
vaping was that you don't know what the fuck is in this little device and
Totally.
you're gagging it 24/7. So if you care about your health this much,
Yeah.
you're going to Jaybird, you're taking these supplements, you're doing
Yeah.
all these things, and then what's the point?
What's the
like,
point?
You need to
Mhm.
know that, like, those things that you're also doing is for you to feel healthy so you can take better care of your kids and your aging parents and all these things. Like,
Yeah.
it's not just to have an 8-pack. It's
Yeah.
not just to have
Totally.
the, You know, so it was like those things were clicking, but then my life. So I was like, okay, so this is for my future self.
Yeah.
But to think for your future self when the results aren't there. I don't have, God forbid, cancer from smoking or anything right now. I don't have anything forcing me to
Yeah.
not do it.
Yeah.
So it's like you have to care more about your future self than yourself today. And that's a hard thing for people to come to terms with, I think.
And I also think like, well, not in the same way as like vaping, but I think that like
Oh my God.
what is interesting is that like I try to like ask people like how would you show like especially in like like a workout class.
Yeah.
It's like how would you show up different if you cared more about feeling good rather than looking good? And so it's like, you know, like most people are there because and I'm not saying like you want to be healthy, you got to push your body and all these things, but like my nervous system I actually continued to push, but I didn't care about feeling good. I just thought like I
Did
needed
you
to
know
be
what
like
feeling
this.
good was?
Well, that's the thing like and you don't know because you're so in this state of like the crash happens and then you feel and it's like you never really feel that good. And so
I know.
sometimes it's the pause that allows you to
Right.
even like, you know, and
To
even in
teach
class
the feel.
sometimes it's like you don't need especially for women, our cycle's always changing. Like you don't need to go. Like life is not an upward trajectory. It is peaks and valleys. And it's like, where are you on the roller coaster of life? Some days you're up, some days you're down.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're spinning sideways and sometimes you're spinning sideways for a long time.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
Yeah.
So like, how can you give yourself something that's going to allow yourself to feel good in your body? And like that doesn't mean that the class is not going to be challenging, but
No,
because
but
it can feel really good to push
Yeah.
yourself and walk out feeling accomplished, but not when you're leaving like we were saying before. Like I always felt like my body was hurting and I was
it
exhausted
just like
and
drained.
this
It was
and that.
burned out. It was
Yeah,
like
exactly.
it was so much going out and nothing coming
Coming in.
in. Like
Yeah.
it was just imbalanced.
Yeah.
It was really imbalanced. And I think the interesting thing thinking to the workout is like it's like evolutionary a bit. Like you're taking away one of our senses in
Yeah.
Jaybird. You're taking away our sight.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Right? Like like the balancing when you have to do
So
some of those.
hard to balance.
It's so
Yeah.
much harder.
Yeah.
So by that, you're enhancing your other senses.
Exactly.
Right? So
Yeah.
like you are and you're once again, you're forcing someone to feel. Like when you're
Yeah.
like
And then the heat forces you to feel as well.
Yeah.
And the darkness does that. And then like the loud music also makes it very like immersive. And so it's just like that ability to walk into a space and have all your senses turn on.
Yeah.
Because like
And turn up.
And turn up, exactly. And that again is like there's very like some of the basic meditations are simply sitting with your senses. So like if you actually just like there's candle staring meditations
Yeah.
where you just look
Oh,
at a
people
candle.
love that.
You just stare. It's like, or you just listen, like you just sit quiet and all you're doing is listening.
Yeah.
Because when you come back where you like, same thing that people say, like, I don't have time to meditate. It's like, okay, you know what? Maybe when you are sitting having lunch by yourself, instead of having your phone next to you, a meditation can be simply eating
In
and
silence.
tasting it
Yeah.
and just noticing every taste, enjoying
Right.
that taste, not using the mind to label it like, oh, that's a carrot and I like this and I don't like this. That's all the mind's like labeling
Right.
of it. It's a simple ability to taste,
Right.
to feel the food in your mouth, to be
Right.
present
The
with what is
textures
here,
and
the texture.
Right. Yeah.
So like, but we want to distract because, you want that dopamine hit from like how many likes you got on this or whatever. But
Just in general, like it's like literally the pause to like not I'll do so many things that are so voluntary because it's me, but
Yeah.
involuntary.
yeah,
Like the shoveling of like gummy bears in my mouth before bed. It's not because I am hungry at 11:30 at night.
yeah.
It's literally something like triggered me and I walked by the fridge and I don't have the willpower to be like, oh, like that pause from earlier, like I don't need to be doing that action.
The awareness. It's like the unconscious. And that's like something in your gut is saying like the little yeast is like, hey, I need this.
Yeah.
And also it's the same thing. Like I will like, sometimes you just need to give it to yourself. Like, and I feel like I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, I'm always like, there's times where I'm just so burnt out. And I literally will say I will look at my clock and I say, you get to scroll until it says like 8:15.
Yeah.
But then when it comes 8:15, you have to stop.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. But like sometimes I just have to. And I'm like, I need this. I don't have to. I choose to.
Right.
Because
So
it's
you're
like,
mindful of your scrolling, like you're 10 years ahead of me. I like wake up,
It's-
like don't
but you
scroll.
know
I'm like,
but the thing is you sometimes like I do it too. You just pick up your phone and it's in your hand. Like, and that's the thing. But then it's like the minute, like exactly what you're saying about meditation, the awareness comes in when suddenly you're like, oh my God, I just scrolled and I'm not aware of it.
And I feel like a piece of garbage right now, and I don't know why, and now I'm going to get ready for the day, and I'm already like, ugh, like I didn't need to start there. I totally get it.
But then how can we be kind to, because I think like
Yeah.
part of the reason we feel like a piece of garbage is because we're told that that other people are better than us and this is what we should or shouldn't be doing. So if we just say like, I noticed, okay. Like, because then we can suddenly attach to the negative of like, now I'm not starting my day right. My day is going to be shit.
Right, and that's
like
negative talk.
It's the same, like, and some people need those. Like, I don't wear like sleep. I like dealt with an eating disorder when I was younger. So like anything that I have that tracks or makes me feel like too like
regulated,
regulate on things. So like I won't wear any sort of like walker
or
because I know I'm like naturally can go back. Like that subconscious, no matter how much therapy and how much you work on yourself.
Right.
Can still be there.
A trigger.
And
you have to know that.
You have to know your triggers. So you need to know, like, does looking at my sleep, how well my sleep was, is this making me better? Or do I immediately go into the day being like, oh, today's going to be shit because it says I only got like X amount of hours of REM or I didn't get any
exactly.
REM.
And then what's that do for you? That just makes you feel worse versus better.
And if it's making you go to bed earlier and not go on your phone before and do all these things, fuck yeah, I'm 100% down
but
for
if
it.
it's not and you're going to feel a piece of shit that you can't like live up to every expectation you put on yourself, like that's I think what it just comes down to. That is like the whole world is like, there's always something new going on. There's always something to grab to and you're just like, I can't. That's why when you find something you love and you connect with, that it just feels like.
Totally. And it's for you. At the end of the day, you're doing it for you because no one inside Jaybird can see what you're doing.
I can always tell when you do like a program update, you know, I can tell the girls are all coming and saying the same things. I'm like, oh, she's been whipping them behind closed doors. Cause like, it's such a, like the kindness and the vibe and the aura is very like there. But I once was like, what's it like to be like a teacher? Like thinking like, I've been doing like the splits now in class. Like I could do it. Like, I'm just gonna, and everyone's like, no. It's like the hardest, most intense, like training instructor. Like, I'm like, what? I'm like, not that I couldn't understand that from the classes and how challenging they are, but I was like, I had no idea. And I'm like, yeah, I'm just bowing out. I'm like, there's no way. I was immediately intimidated. I love the classes so much, but then to be able to teach and be like Kiki and all these girls and like, they're just so incredible. And I'm like, how they can do, and I'm like, okay, so tell me what it's like. Like everyone must come in and do the class and be like, I want to be an instructor. I feel like you get probably so many people. And then what's like, I need to know. I feel like it's like, not like Juilliard, but like.
No, I mean, so depending on the class you teach, there is like prerequisites. So for sure, like we say our classes are based in yoga and Pilates.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're teaching like a build, you need to have a yoga certificate. And then if you're teaching like a burn, you need to have a Pilates certificate. Okay. And then if you're teaching like a balance, you need like a yin certificate. Okay. If you're teaching breathwork, you need a breathwork training. Okay. So everything you must have like a training to come to the table with.
Which I didn't, which is obviously where.
So that would be, we obviously we are not a classical Pilates studio. We are not, or traditional.
Right.
So, but I really believe like you need to know the rules before you can break them. It's the same thing like coming from a dance background. Like you learn ballet if you want to like do contemporary, modern, all these things. You need to know the rules.
You need the foundations. 100%. Yeah.
So from there, anyone that wants like to teach, we do like an audition process. So I give them something very specific, like just a breakdown of like a 30-minute class, and then they teach a 30-minute class.
Wait, you tell them, you're like, I
tell them, like I'll say like, I want you to teach a meditation. I want you to teach a stretch. I want you to teach a core series, arms, legs.
Are you in the class?
They teach to me, yeah. And then they have to choose a dance party. They're allowed to bring friends.
Oh, that's
because
cute.
it's way easier. So it's up to them. If they don't bring friends and they literally just teach to me or teach to one of my like my assistant lead instructors or to one of the mentors. But usually they would just be teaching like, so it's way better if you bring friends.
Well, because it's way less intense.
It's way less.
Most people must bring friends. That's a really nice idea that you did that for them. That makes them so much more comfortable.
It's so much more fun.
That's really nice.
It's way more fun.
And then everyone for the dance party.
They can have people to dance with. They can like, because just teaching to me is like,
intense.
It's very scary. Like I would be scared. I would be scared. I'd be scared to teach myself.
Yeah.
No, I want the best for them. But
no, of course. Okay.
So it's a 30-minute. So they do 30-minute auditions. Sometimes if there's specific things, like if I see a lot of potential, but there's like, say they're missing certain things, I'll sometimes like give them the feedback and ask them to audition again. Okay. Most of the time I can figure it out quite quickly.
Right.
Jaybird, we usually don't audition people that haven't taught for at least 2 years.
Okay.
It is very challenging to teach in a dark room. Your QA needs to be very clear. And it's also like you can't just rely on your body to do it.
Yes.
And you also need to have a presence to hold this space.
Mm.
So, and then I always like say, and I said this so many times, like, it's like you can't offer to somebody else, but you can't offer to yourself. So, because
Nice,
like
I like
so much of mindfulness, so much of like this non judgment, all of this, if you're walking in and you're still in this place of working or you're not practicing mindfulness, how can you teach it?
right.
And there are some teachers that, actually have, they have grown so much and they just like started or they had like, and there is star quality. There are some people that are just born,
Right.
and there are some people that are born to be like, they have a certain kind of charisma and
Right. And
energy
they
that
bring
they're
something
able
different.
different. And then,
Right.
there are some teachers that are just like are hilarious and they just
Okay,
make you
yeah.
laugh. And then there are some teachers that are like super powerful that make you like feel. There's some teachers that are like really chill. So
Yeah.
there's different things for different people. Like not everyone's gonna like everybody. And I think people forget that too. And they're like, oh, like that class sucked. I was like, well, did you just like
Not
not
like
like the teacher?
yeah.
And that's okay.
No,
But what did you
100%.
still like? So within the training, and then we like train them on the method. So we train
Okay.
them on like mindfulness, we train them on like musicality, we train them on like the language we use
I
and like
love
our
that.
whys
And
and
it's
all that.
becoming a lot as a user, as a
Yeah.
it's a customer, I don't client.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
become way more like it's really cohesive.
Yeah,
I've
thank
noticed like
you.
it's really I can really notice that like a lot of the instructors are using similar languages. It's making it easier. They take a lot of the different
Yeah.
classes, even though I'm such a burn girly, like I do the
Yeah.
variety.
No, it's good.
I feel like my nervous system really needs like the build and like just
It
like the
does. It needs to stretch.
stretches. I
Yeah.
find that so much.
And I think as we get older, like, and I would say that this piece of data is probably not like, I don't think it's been 100% proven, but it was. I can't like remember what I saw it in, but it's just like, even if it's not 100% true, I think it's something that we should think about. It's like pretty much what they said is like the difference between how much you should strength train could different how much you should actually stretch and mobility train does change the older that you get. So it's like when you're 10 years old, think like 10% stretching mobility, a 90% should be strength. And then as you get older, it should be getting closer and closer. So at 40, it's like 40% would be your stretching and then 60% would still be strength. And then once you pass 50, you actually need to be balancing the mobility and stretch with your strength training. So like, but 90% of people out there, unless you're a huge
They
logie, you're
just
not
think it
doing
yeah,
that. And so
I totally agree, and I've been reading a lot about that because I was like, "This is really messed up." I used to do all whatever the Barry circuit training, but then I used to have personal trainers and do the weight
Mhm.
training. My body's never been as lean or as like I just as it is now, and it's through the movements that I'm doing, it's completely different, and the mobility 100%. If you think about aging,
Yeah.
the it's the not when you're aging, your bones, they become more brittle. You need the stability more than anything. That's all the stuff that I'm reading in terms of
Totally.
longevity stuff, that it's all about mobility, flexibility, your range. It's
Your
not about
range,
the
yeah.
strength because if you're walking and most people at the age of 80, when they slip and their ankle goes over, that's what does them in.
Yeah.
Their body can't rejuvenate and heal from
Yeah.
that point. Whereas, you
Yeah.
need that like
And we do need like women do need to strength train. Like there's so much right now out there about like, Pilates isn't doing this and you need to be lifting heavy weights. And like, you know what? As I said before, like it's kind of like what you choose. Like everybody is different. You do need to weight bear. Different types of weight
Yeah.
bearing on your upper body is different. A plank can be weight bearing. It might not be as much weight bearing as lifting a heavy weight,
right.
but you can still get pieces out of it. But at the end of the day, like people, when there's no like there's so many people that just want to get up and leave after like and not stretch at the end of the class. And I'm just like you need this
Old
is just
me,
as
old me,
important. Like
old
you'll
me.
feel
Get
better.
out.
I
Oh my God, I have to get to the
promise.
shower first.
Yeah, I gotta get
It's like, I have to get to the shower first and I've got to go back to work or I
Yeah.
got to go it's like it's like you're so intense and then immediately it just shuts off and it's like back to reality. It's so
Yeah.
funny. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
They can't take it for that last little bit.
And even just try, even if you hate it, like if the stretching is your like, and the funny part is usually if you hate stretching, it's what you need the most.
Exactly.
And so
You're
it's
avoiding
sometimes
it.
it's like you're avoiding it because it hurts and you're not good at it.
Totally.
So nobody that is like super hypermobile is like, I'm going to leave the stretch, but I can get my leg to my face. Like,
exactly.
it's
I'm
like,
like
that's
there in
just
like the splits, like who's looking in the dark, baby?
Yeah.
I've been able to do this
100%.
in 20. No, I literally was such a flex. Like I was
Yeah.
a dancer, not to your degree, but
No,
that's what I was
it's
doing the splits when I
amazing.
was younger. And now I'm like, because of the heat and everything, I'm like kind of getting back there. I'm like, this feels so
Awesome.
and even just the dancing in itself, like these things that they say to like root back to your childhood, like
Yeah.
we were so carefree. Do you know what I
So
mean? We had
carefree.
so carefree. You could just dance with your friend in the hallway if you wanted
Yeah.
to at school and there'd be no judgment. So to just like have this carefree space, I just commend you. I think it's like, it's not only I'm selfishly, it's changed my life, honestly, for the better. Like I've been able to just like literally find just such peace in that place. Like I just get such peace in there. I get to
I'm
work
so
out. I get to
happy.
feel so safe and so seen. And so it's my happy little space. So
Mm.
I go as often as I can. When I don't go for a few days, I feel it. And I just, feel so fortunate. So thank you for bringing us this workout. And I want more of them. And I want you to either franchise or have them all over the States.
Thank you. Well, we're trying. We're trying.
Okay. So I've got a question. Where did Christopher go? Christopher was like,
He's the
he
best.
was the best.
So we love Chris. Chris is modeling with that
Of
beautiful
course
face
he is.
in Milan, but he's actually not there to model. I don't know if you know, but Chris is like one of the smartest people I know. So he's actually going to school and doing his master's in Milan.
Wow.
And he's also modeling while he's there. So he's going to be back. He'll be back like in little bits of times to teach when he's back. But we've got 2 years without him, and then hopefully
That voice,
He's the best.
He needs to. I need that voice
He's
somewhere.
the best.
Yeah, he was the best.
Yeah.
All the teachers are so good for so many different reasons.
Yeah,
Like,
everyone's different, and they're also.
but like, come on, give me the tea. You must have like a favorite or something.
See, people will always ask me that, and it's
Yeah.
kind of like I feel like I'm a mom,
Okay, I
and
get it.
it's like you can't really like you love them all, and
That's fair.
It's
That's
like
fair.
sometimes they can really frustrate you, and you can
Okay,
be like,
yeah.
get your shit together,
And-
and then but overall, like it's hard to pick a favorite because I just like feel like I'm so grateful to watch them all grow, and
Right.
there's ones that have been with me from like the very beginning that have like special places in my heart, and then there's
True.
like. But overall, it's hard for me to say if one is favorite. Plus, like, they're just like all
no.
my kids. How do you
You're
choose
gonna,
a favorite kid?
You're gonna get like
can't-
so much.
You also just like
Yeah.
can't choose a favorite kid.
No, that's fair. And you train
Yeah.
all. This is not to say every class that I've done has been like unique in its own way, you
Yeah.
know. But like everything, there's preferences. Blonde, brunette, let's go. This is what it is.
Music is so thing. Like people will just say like I didn't like the music. I'm like, well, you know what? Like I understand that.
Yeah.
And somebody else literally in the next review underneath will be like best music I've ever
song
had, and I'm like,
ever.
ah,
Yeah.
so.
Okay, but ask me though.
Yeah, what is? Yeah, I love this. Ask me, tell
Because
me.
like I don't
Who's
care.
your
Because like I don't
favorite?
know
Yeah,
anyone.
Who are your
and I-
Who's your
Okay,
favorite?
well, okay. So Brittany Booth is like
Yeah.
an OG.
She's an OG.
I just like her. She's like so like kind of like sarcastic and serious.
She's funny.
She's
Yeah.
funny, and like we have a good laugh, and I love
Yeah.
her. And her music is always she always
Yeah.
has the newest jams, and like I'm very into music, so
Yeah.
I love that one. Okay, I really like Cake. So Kiki or Kiara.
Yeah.
Her voice just
I know.
and she's just there's something she's like
Her cueing is incredible. Like she's like that girl is very, very smart. And she works really hard on like knows her anatomy. She's just really well trained and she like takes it really seriously.
Yeah.
So
you can tell. And her beginning shtick at the beginning, the mindful thing is like really, I'm like,
Yes.
where am I? In
I
Alice in
know.
Wonderland? I'm
Yeah.
like, let's go. I'm like,
her energy is like
she
that
slipped
too.
something in my water. And anyway,
Yeah.
so I really like her. I know
Well,
it's
we're happy
intense.
she's like, well, it's too bad that like, so she went to Vancouver.
Oh,
So she's
okay.
moved back to Vancouver.
Fun though. Good for you.
And Josh moved back to Toronto.
Oh God, yeah.
So
okay.
there's a lot of people
Swap.
that are very happy to have Josh back, and there's a lot of people very sad to see
her
Key
go.
leave.
Okay.
But she's deep down, I think she's a West Coast girl, even though she's from here. So she's really
Yeah.
happy to be back, and we're very happy to have Josh back in Toronto. So especially in the reformer room, people are really happy to have him back.
I like the reformer
He's
class.
hilarious.
Chloe T, I've just been like,
Yeah.
she's just like, there's 1,000 things going on in that class and it's so intense and her raspy voice. I'm like, let's go.
Everybody thinks
Her
Chloe's
tapping little
a
foot. I'm like,
little bit like the amount of times people write like, I just don't like that your teacher's sick, and I'm like, she's not sick. That is just her voice. And so I always feel I'm like literally they're like, you
That's
shouldn't
so
have a sick
funny.
teacher. I'm like,
Oh my God.
like she's got it like more times than I
well,
can count.
no, I just always thought she had a big night the night before.
Yeah, exactly. Like everyone's like, what did Chloe do?
Chloe
I'm like,
T last
no,
night. And I'm
that's
like,
literally her voice.
Oh,
Literally
so
her
good.
voice.
It's so
Yeah.
good. No,
Yeah.
honestly, you can't go wrong. All the instructors are incredible. And I
Yeah.
like that the reformer was a nice adjustment. Like,
yeah.
I never lead with it. I don't know why, because I'm just such like a floor movement. But
No, it's
every
good.
time I get on it, I'm like, thank God I just did it. I'm so sore in such a
Yeah.
different way.
It's just different. It's different.
It's
not
different.
as much as like a time out from like, it's like the reformer is like, I think is like, it's a really good workout. It's definitely, there's still the mindfulness at the beginning and the end, and you're still moving to the beat of the music, and it's really challenging. It's just not as much as like, you don't have that real integration. Like you don't have that ability to really like shut the outside world out and like really just be with yourself. You still feel like you're in a room with other
For
people.
sure with the dimness, but
Yeah.
it also reads like that because you're on a piece of equipment. And
100%. And you have to be more present. Like it's like you can't just be like, I'm closing my eyes.
That's what, like when they're like, we're launching reform. I'm like, don't get it. I'm like, what? I'm like, the heat, darkness, reformer. And then I was like, oh, this is like a nice vibe. It still reads the same. It's just not
It's just different.
Yeah. Anyways, it's great. I'm like
That's
glad it's
fun.
in the integration.
No.
So thanks so much for coming. This was incredible. I like am such a fan, as you know, and I'll be continuing. And so many people have like heard about it because I talked about it on my last podcast. And I just like, I feel like I'm a brand ambassador,
You're
as
so
you can see.
sweet. No, I'm so grateful. So we're really, really like honestly, I think as like a co-founder, you got like so wrapped up in seeing like the negatives of things, like
Yeah.
it's really easy to always be like pushing, like I need more, that like having conversations like this just make, knowing that like when you went through a hard time, it was like a place that you like, and hearing your growth is just like makes it all worthwhile. And I
Mhm.
think like people that are out there like grinding, like especially if like you're a founder of something, like step back and like have those conversations. Cause even leaving today, I'm like, oh, I actually feel like I'm so excited to go and can continue to put the effort
Good.
in because I think sometimes like you can feel kind of trampled by like the
And
doing
the
and not having
entrepreneurial
yeah,
and, like, you're so in it, it's your
yeah,
business, you're dealing with so much of that entrepreneurial cap that, like, you totally forget for me as a
yeah,
client or a customer, like, the experience that I have, it's like,
yeah.
it's so one of a kind, and other people do need experience, and I think, like, I'm not just like, I don't, like, really give my 100%, but when I say it, I mean it, and I think
Thank you.
in a
Yeah.
world where everyone feels like their nervous system is one step away from
A
cracking,
100%.
like, everyone is, like, just on verge of just breaking down, and
Yeah.
I've been broken down, so I know what that feels like now in
Mhm.
retrospect. You need to pay attention to it, and if you don't do those pauses, then I think that we're gonna end up just continuing where we're at. So,
Yeah.
I hope that this reaches more people and people can just take the
Yeah.
time to take care of themselves, you know?
Yeah, come try class. And like again, like it sometimes takes a couple, as you said, to get like sometimes the first time you're like, I get it. And then a couple times you're like, oh, I didn't quite get every move. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't
It's
matter.
not about perfection.
Leaning
It's like
in.
just lean in and, take that pause.